Levan versus Artyom Morozov. I just want to get your thoughts on that. And do you think Artyom has what it takes to beat Levan?
Definitely great pick. Great pick. Got a great style. You know, people need to understand that while arm wrestling is counters and, you know, this and that, inside, outside, wrist, arm, elbow, shoulder, there's one movement that opens the gates for victory. And if you're a great arm wrestler, which anybody at the world level now, they're all great arm wrestlers. Okay, there's no dummies. Okay, nobody is arm wrestling at that level and hasn't arm wrestled for like decades. Okay, Morozov, even though I think he's mid-20s, is he 25 or something?
Yeah, I think he's either 24 or 25.
Yeah,
but him coming from Kazakhstan, I mean,
yeah. There's
top in the
videos of
world.
him arm wrestling as a teenager, right? And he was arm wrestling at a high level. Okay, he's been arm wrestling a long time. You watch him arm wrestle, everything's perfect. You know, and it's this, right? And you see him initiate. He initiates high. And that's the key. So if he can get his post strong enough, yeah, it's a match. We've seen it. We just saw it recently. You can break him down potentially. You can. He's the underdog. Make no mistakes. He's the underdog. Does he have a chance? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, it'll be a great match.
Do you see him taking a round?
No. But I could very well be wrong. And look, at the thing is when a guy like Levan is on top, nobody ever thinks he's gonna lose. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, he's just so strong and so good. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
My next question is, who do you have as the top 5 in the world with the left hand? Yeah. And just remember that Dennis has just made his comeback as well.
Well, Dennis is not training his left. Dennis is training only his right hand. A lot of people don't know that. Dennis is doing the pumpkin training. So
yeah,
Dennis,
I don't know about that, because when I talked with Artyom Morozov, he told me that he got on the table with Dennis left, and it was like hitting. Left? Yeah, and he said it was like hitting a wall.
You know what? I haven't seen the interview, but I would question that. I'd want to make sure that I clarified that, because the best of my knowledge, Dennis's left is somewhat injured and he's not training it whatsoever. So that would be surprising to me. If the number one guy in the world is saying he's bouncing off Dennis left-handed, that would be surprising to me.
I'm 99% sure he said that, because I did question him. I was like, aren't you number one in East versus West and all that? And he said he wasn't looking forward to pulling Dennis, that he still needs time and all that. I think they train together or something.
Yeah, so that's really interesting, because I thought Dennis is only training his right and that his left was injured. But it wouldn't surprise me that Dennis's left is still super nasty, not even a bit. Like, people don't realize how strong that guy is as a human being. It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Same thing with Levan. Levan is injured left hand, doesn't pull. But I mean, so the two guys who might be the number one and number two are injured and not competing.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, right? Yeah, look at right off the top of my head, I have names like Dennis and Levan as questionables. Okay, but I have no idea where they are exactly, because they're inactive as can be. But if either one of them wanted it, I wouldn't be surprised if they could quickly be the 1 and 2. Obviously, Morozov is ranked 1. I think Vitaly Laletin is probably on that list somewhere. The left hand,
Can I throw in that possibility? Maybe if they get about Corey West.
Yeah.
Would you put him in the top 5?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Where do you think he would land in there? Do you think he beats Artyom Morozov?
I don't think so, but he might, and he might definitely beat him round 1 and 2. Like Morozov, I think is probably a smoother arm wrestler and a bit more efficient. That dude, Corey West, has got some strength. I tell you, that kid is strong. Um, yeah, yeah, he belongs out on the list, and I heard he's getting a shot. So I he definitely is going to be on that list. Yeah.
He reminds me of that reference to the strongman when you were saying earlier, because I mean
Yeah.
he's got that frame on him. You know, I think he comes from a powerlifting background. We see him benching, 550, 600 pounds, making it look really, really light and all. So that's one of those guys that I would think is kind of like that strongman background. And I've heard his hand is like it's like gripping up with a softball. It's huge.
Yeah. His hand actually, the way I remember it, is not as crazy. But the hand, look, it's great to have a big hand, but it's great to be strong. And Corey West is like unbelievably strong. Yeah. Yeah.
The next topic I want to bring up is what do you think of the toddler's removal of his bone spurs and his infamous bone lock? Is that going to, is it going to affect him? You think after the surgery, he's going to be able to return to the level he was at?
It will be completely life changing for him. Completely. Everything that he's built will have to be rebuilt from nothing. Like when you talk about, and listen, people think that I hate Mike and everything. And, I certainly have my issues with Mike, but at the base, like I have a long relationship with Mike and I admire a lot of his qualities. I don't think Michael will probably, I don't know. I don't want to speak really too much on it, but I will say that he has a lot of obstacles to overcome, a ton of obstacles. So, for one, there's the bicep detachment, which is probably the biggest one. And then you have the removal of the spurs. And I know, speaking from experience, and I also know that Michael's elbow was worse than mine. Okay. Like I know where mine was at. And I'll say with a lot of certainty that his is worse. So what happens is when they get rid of all that stuff, you're left with an arm that feels amazing. Oh my God, his arm's going to feel so good once it doesn't have that stuff. His tendons are going to slide the way they should without rubbing against fucking razor blades all day long. Like he's going to heal. He's going to be able to recover. Like every day will be a step forward, but he's going to have no stability. None. Like you talk about like when you get out of a surgery like that, because the thing is all your ligaments and everything have been stretched. They've been stretched around all that bony buildup of tissue. And then when that's taken out, you got a loose elbow. And a loose elbow really can only kind of work mechanically. Like you can curl and you can push. But all the stabilization, it's gonna be terrible. So as an arm wrestler, he's going to be even more into like complete outside or complete inside arm wrestling. His center will be even worse than it was. So, and he will not have a lock to fall back on. He will not. So he will have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
How long do you think it takes to build that stability that you're talking about in the elbow?
Years.
Like 4 years, I'm
Yeah.
thinking is,
Yeah.
yeah, because I kind of experienced that with myself coming from a bodybuilding background. And anytime I'd feel like my elbow would be like ready to explode. It finally in the last few months where it's like, I'm comfortable. I don't feel nothing no more. And it's about 3 years for me.
Yeah. About three or 4 years if you had a really spurred out elbow. So I had my surgeries done around 2013, I think it was. And it wasn't until like 2016 that my right was finally starting to feel comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And his will be even worse because of how bad it was and because of his age. It'll be tough at 50 to rebuild that thing. Yeah,
You think the stem cells would speed up the process?
of course, unquestionable. Yeah, no question. Yeah.
So this stem cells, this is a real game changer. This is really beneficial in so many different ways. And like, what do you think is the how quicker will it make things happen? You think it cut it in half per time, or does it each person's going to be different?
Well, I think it would depend on your protocol, but no question, it'll speed it up a lot. Like, so I got treatment. What's today? Tuesday. I got treatment last weekend, not the weekend that just passed. So like 9 days ago or something, or 10 days ago. And when I went down there, I was really feeling my bicep. And I already am feeling quite a lot better. That's only 10 days. Yeah, I mean, normally you talk about months when it comes to this kind of therapy. Normally you're talking about months. But he doesn't have a simple thing to get better from. But yeah, no question, whatever your injury is, I mean, the stem cell, I mean, I say stem cell, that's an inaccurate term.
A real general term.
Yeah, the Wharton's jelly combined with exosomes. I mean, this is going to cut down on all your recovery times very significantly.
Let me ask you, when you said you feel your bicep, does that mean like it's inflamed? And what did you mean by you feel your bicep?
Yeah, I mean, so my bicep when was it? It was, I guess, June that I wrestled Levan. It was June, maybe. I don't remember. There you go, June 25th. So the muscle tore, and I've rehabbed it a ton, but really what mostly has gone on is my body's compensated. So there have been other parts of me that have kind of taken over the load, have changed things slightly, but the muscle itself is still damaged. I would say that it's healing, but these things take time. These injuries like this, where you get a complete rip of the muscle, like, it takes time. And that thought that I had was further confirmed when we were really in there looking with the ultrasound. Like, you could see the cells, you could see the balled up connective structures, you could see the cells completely random, just a big mess. So the muscle is still an issue. And because I'm continuing to work it, continuing to try and rehab it, to try and work through the process, at times I do too much. At times I do, and potentially I hurt it again. But that's the path of a competitive athlete. You're walking that line where hopefully you don't injure yourself more. Hopefully, you're giving yourself enough stimulus to keep your body remembering to get stronger. But even the best of us will take a step too far, and you'll get hurt a little bit. Yeah, but I feel really good right now overall. Like, even with my injuries, I feel very, very good.